What's up, everybody? It's your boy Travis here today, bringing you the top 16 deck list from the Sheffield RLE. Congrats to all our competitors who made top cuts, and without further ado, let's get into it. But before I actually start, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Go check out PPG, check out my Patreon, all that kind of stuff. Let's get into it. So first place here, as you can see, we have Grant Padley. Congratulations, by the way. Playing Kyoko Jiro on the air symbol. Looks like a relatively standard IER Jiro deck list. The interesting inclusions that you can see here are Polite and Well-Spoken, which has a very interesting interaction with Home Run Comet, because you can put it into your momentum and then remove it with sound waves and then just replay it from your remove from game pile, which I think is very interesting. Other than that, not really much to see here as far as like changes that have been made. The sideboard is pretty good. Noble Participation is pretty good against the stun decks, so like Back Alley Haymaker, people playing Indiscriminate Shock, all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming Stadium is for like Jiro and other decks that want to like heavy breaker you. Let's get into the next one. In second place, we have Connor Chilton on Order Fourth Kind. Now this is a very, very attack heavy, aggressive fourth kind list that's trying to get in there and stay in there once it is in there. So we've got like high engine kicks to filter. We've got full counting 5% strikes that filter, extended raw cards. Burst is a 1-0 finisher. 1.3 is our main finisher. Jolt and Vile Seizing, just as generic string attacks. And then Ice Slide Tackle as a decent follow-up to a low attack, maybe as our fourth card. Comes in as a 5 low for 9. Not bad. And then pretty standard order stuff here, challenging the fakes to stop our opponents from attacking us, sticky balls, self-sack for damage reduction, calling for backup to draw more cards. We've got Sato on the sideboard, so if we need to maybe have a more consistent stun rather than just our character, or be a six-hander so we see more cards for maybe like a control matchup, we can. Tape Tosses for Deadlock, Blood Curdle for the annoying characters like Momo and Mineta 2, Drowning in Resentment, more copies for the Back Alley decks, the Specialized Soundwaves decks, so on and so forth. In third place, we have Nathan James playing Earth, Endeavor 2. Endeavor 2 is a character that has been on my radar for a long while, so I'm glad that he got a lot of representation in this RLE. Makes me very happy. 4 press conference, quick to act, 1 with nature, just typical Earth stuff. We are mainboarding for Face Shield and 3 learning the standards for the aggressive decks. You know, your Asuis of the world, stuff like that. Now, Redguard is a kind of new inclusion that we're going to see quite a bit in these deck lists. They really tend to favor this card, and you can see why. Being an Omni block with Breaker 1, and a character that can just give -4 speed on his face is pretty good. It's also just a generically overstated attack in him. You flip a foundation, cut for 1, it's a 4 mid for 6 or a 6 mid for 4 on a 3 diff, which is pretty good. Ignited Arrow to just give us more attacks, or if they don't want to give us more attacks, give us free momentum. Prominence Burn to just string them out, burn them. It's a high speed attack, does a lot of damage. Hardened Uppercut, just another one that's like, yeah, it's a 5 low for 9 base if I pop 2 and cut with my character. Rapid Punches is a generic poke attack, Back Alley because it's Back Alley. All this kind of stuff, very typical. Noma in the sideboard, I'm assuming for the like All Might 4 deck, maybe sided it against Jiro, stuff like that. Kirishima's Assistance for stuff like Face Shield. And then just more Deadlock stuff. Fourth place here, we have Liam Chauner. Sorry if I butcher any names along the way. Playing Shigaraki 3 under the order symbol. Just looks like a pretty generic controlling Shigaraki deck. It's got Searing Glacial Storms to reset, put both players at parity. It's got Electric Jolts to keep their important foundations tapped down. Vile Seizings because it's Vile Seizing. Decaying Palm Slam as a good like late game finisher, Final Smash, Indiscriminate Shock. Just kind of this typical order stuff. Now something very interesting that I haven't seen many people kind of experiment with is having Todoroki in your sideboard for, I'm assuming, mostly the All Might matchup. And you could also bring it in against Jiro, technically, for when they home run comment to put a foundation into their momentum for their specialized sound waves. You can just make them add it back to their hand, which is pretty cool. Other than that, though, just typical order stuff, league invitations, all the order control pieces. For some reason, some of these sideboards that Jasco put in their article just did not have full sideboards. They were like 8 cards. This was one of them. I don't really know why. 5th place, we have Greg Moss playing Life Momo 1-Dot. Just a very good generic control character still. He's got the Evaden copies in the sideboard for the All Might 4 deck. He's got the back alleys, just kind of all this typical stuff that you would expect to see from Momo, encouraging training partners, study group leaders, new trainings. Interestingly, we aren't playing Rescue Completed in the main board or Excited for Blood, so we are just kind of a little bit of a lower to the ground kind of style of deck, which I think is probably pretty good in a faster paced meta, because you don't have to be as greedy in order to get across the finish line, if that makes sense. Speaking of greedy, we have 6th place Nicholas Reagan playing Endeavor 2 on the evil symbol. Just got all the greed, Excited for Blood. We've got and our face to give minus stats or plus stats, bench press to gain us our health back, super regen to gain health back, all the stat pumps in the world. Kota buffs almost all of our attacks, I think. No. I guess it just buffs Tongue Whip. Oh, it buffs Tongue Whip and Hell Flame Stomp are the 2 attacks that it buffs, but it's also just essentially Breaker 2, kind of. They can fail it, but and your character protects this card really easily because you can -2 health to get -4 damage, and then it doesn't break your Coda if you take a big attack, or you can block really easily. Sorry. We have Showdown, Evil Gaze, just typical evil stuff. Crushing Truth for back alley decks, the All Might combo deck. Just it hits a lot of good stuff in the meta right now. It hits Indiscriminate Shock as well. Fruit of Our Labors for the card pool stuffing decks and good Deadlock. Evil Gaze, good Deadlock, also just to have additional copies where Showdown isn't great. House of Cards and Compression Sphere, just against momentum heavy matchups where the momentum really matters. 7th place, we have, where is it? Sam Turner, playing yet again Order 4th Kind. So this is a little bit different from our the last list that we saw. This one looks to be a little bit more like heavy on the control factors. Make sure that your stage is where they want it to be. They've got more speed hate, all that kind of stuff. We're still playing Jolt, the typical stuff. We're also playing Excel Kick, which just makes our strings a lot easier because we can go extend, or we can go high engine, extend, Excel Kick, and then clear our pool, keep going, or we can go extend, high engine, attack, Excel Kick, clear our pool, and it's very cheap to do. Tracking device is kind of interesting, not really something I would expect, but I guess when your plan is to play 4 cards in a turn, then knowing what you're checking on all 4 cards is probably not terrible. Blood Curdles for the annoying characters. We got just kind of generic stuff in the sideboard, maybe to make our Bane board a little better and hedge against some of our worst matchups. 8th place, we have a familiar name. We have Philip Chibors, sorry if I butchered your name, just on his Air Giro list that he, basically the same one that he piloted at the HLC, or at least very similar. Just got those reps in, so not really surprising to see him up here in top 8. Basic trainings, requesting assistance, all the typical Air Giro stuff. We've got Toru in the sideboard, which is, I'm assuming, for the aggressive decks, maybe, or maybe it's for the deadlock decks. I honestly don't know what this is for, but I'm sure he had reasons for it. Teamwork, just a generically good low block, and it also puts a card in our card pool and gives 5 damage to an attack if we need it to. Yeah, with our symbol spread, it's pretty easy to get there. Encouraging training partners, cheerleaders to flash stuff. Yeah, pretty standard. 9th place, we had Adam Brown playing Earth Nomu. So this is just, kind of an Earth good stuff deck with Nomu at the front. Nomu has some really good matchups in the meta right now. It's kind of hard for All Might 4 to beat this deck, because, like, you throw this 30 damage move, all right, I'll set it to 6, right? And just being able to also throw out these huge haymakers, so if someone whiffs their kill turn, you are going to kill them with the amount of damage output that you have. Yeah, and then You're So Obvious for a damage reset in the sideboard, resistance, forcing surrender for, I'm assuming, like Mineta and Tokuyami. Yeah, just pretty generic. Web of Blades, huge shout out to this card. This card is, like, really good in Nomu because one of the easiest ways that you can lose as Nomu is getting all of your stuff speed redux into oblivion. So having this card to essentially negate a -2 speed, very good. 10th place, we have Kai Sane playing Kirishima 2 on the Earth symbol. And as you can see, he was just playing a lot of everything with Kirishima's face on it, basically, which is totally respectable. We're playing Jab, Frenzy, Pummel, Chop, Barrage, Uppercut, Back Alley, Red Guard, and then other than that, it was just kind of typical Earth value stuff. We've got Manly Friendships for extra DR, the Manly Passionate Guys to build more, so on and so forth. Homage being a very good card in Kirishima 2, obviously. It's got his face on it. Let's go to 11th. Now, this arguably might be one of the most interesting decks that we saw in this top cut, and this is Chaos Mina Ashido piloted by Brett Pendragon, Mr. Dobby Guy himself. Shoutouts to him. This is a very cool deck. It's looking to abuse the interaction between Award the Victor and Mina. For those that don't know, you touch them with an attack, stack it with Award the Victor, and then you check it on your next attack, discard with Mina, so you can play that one that you checked as your next move. So it's essentially like you redrew it. Just very, very cool interaction. Just looking to touch them with Volts, stack it, play it, do it again, and just kind of stun them out very quickly. And other than that, it's just got, like, generic defense stuff. We've got Chivalrous, One with Nature, of course, best card arguably in the game. And yeah, 12th, we've got Justin Martin playing Chaos Tokuyami. This is just kind of a standard Tokuyami list playing that added Cremation. Cremation's very good in this character. Dark Shadow Ruin says it doesn't count towards progressive, which is very good. So it's just a free speed pump on your indiscriminate shocks, your home run comets. Just kind of gets you there sometimes. Other than that, we've got, One with Nature's basic trainings, all the kind of aggro, chaos, Tokuyami stuff that we're used to seeing. In 13th place, we've got Thomas Harax. Yet again, sorry if I'm butchering any names. Electric Jolt, Sound Waves, Giro, IER, just kind of very similar to what we've been seeing from the IER Giro list. Infinite Potentials. The only thing that I'm seeing that's kind of different that we don't see that much Pillar Swing as a one of, I love this move in Jiro. It gets you your momentum for sound waves. It's a stun attack and just very strong. A lot of pressure on that card. Training Partner, Wall Cling, Double Jab, Indiscriminate Shock. Just typical good sideboard stuff for the air symbol. 14th, we've got Declan Savage playing Shigaraki 1 on the death symbol. Now, this is a very interesting deck and a very unique deck. It's looking to utilize the interaction between Full Cowling Impact and Shigaraki, where you essentially say, hey, do you want to take 1,000,000 from this? Or do you want to fully block it and then you'll destroy a foundation? And then float combo, just, yeah, I touched you for 1. It was actually for 6. I can pick it back up with Prehensile Tail. And then just good blocks, good speed reduction. A lot of ways to punish your opponent for getting overly aggressive and punish them for blocking. This was another deck that didn't have a full sideboard for some reason. I don't know why, but thanks, Jasko, I guess. 15th place, we've got Luke Kinsey playing Endeavor 2 on the Earth symbol yet again. This is a very, very high attack count, very aggressive, looking to get in there, kind of Earthless, but it can also play good defense because of what Endeavor's Face does. And it's just got like a bunch of answers to the aggressive decks, answers to decks looking to build during the combat phase with learning the standards, or decks that are trying to get very aggressive with also learning the standards. Got answers to the stun decks, seizing the advantage to answer important foundations. Nomu in the sideboard for the All Might 4 deck. Naval Laser is another good anti-aggro card, and also just being able to unflip your good foundations. Snack Time for Deadlock. Last but certainly not the least, Ian Hilden playing All Might 3 on the good symbol. We've got Final Smashes, Valiant Assaults. This is just kind of typical value All Might 3. Just mid-rangey, trying to get in there a little bit, block really well, draw a lot of cards. It's got answers to your staging area and Lost in Thought, answers to your momentum and capture evildoers. It'll stun you out with back alleys and heroic strikes. And then, yeah, it's just very, very good in Deadlock. It's very hard to go to Deadlock against Determined, plus Pull No Punches, plus you're finished. And yeah, just fantastic. We've got Detroit Smashes for maybe like more controlling matchups where we need to draw more cards. Also just a 0 high block. You're So Obvious for the damage resets and the speed reset. Evil versus Good cancels a response, which I'm assuming was probably for the All Might 4 deck, because you can cancel their Cremation response if you build your third card and they respond with Cremation. You do have to check a 5, though, so maybe that's not what it was for, but it doesn't seem awful. Also, Evade and Copy for that deck as well. And then One for All to just cycle cards, because we're essentially we get to draw 5 new cards, right, with One for All full cowling. So, anyways, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys all appreciate this. It actually took me quite a while to get these decks all onto Ultra, because I did create them all by hand, since Jasko didn't make Ultra lists, or at least not that I know of, because I searched for them a little bit, could not find them, so I just decided to make them myself. And if you guys appreciated that, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, go check out the Patreon, yada, 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 do all that cool stuff. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And this has been Matsu, aka Travis, signing out.
What is up, Matsu Nation? Thank you for watching till the end of the video. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. And check out all my socials and my Patreon. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and sayonara.